Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26. What do you want to discuss tonight? Which
Well,
topic?
you just asked, why are you single without blaming a man?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wanted to just answer on my point of view as to why I'm single.
Go ahead.
Um, I would say initially, I feel like we always tend to blame the other
Subscribe
person,
now.
but being that I've been having time to reflect, I've noticed that I have a codependency, and
Okay.
I feel like the person that I was with, they showed me and told me what they wanted, and they didn't want a relationship. But I stuck around because of my low self-esteem, because of things that I lacked within myself,
Mm-hmm.
self, self-love. So I allowed things that weren't really fulfilling to me or made me happy, or, you know, I basically settled because of the things that I lacked within myself. So so I came to a place where I was like, I was unfair to set expectations on you because I already knew what you wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. And that's pretty much what I said to the person, you know,
Okay.
because I for a long time, I was like, you didn't step up. You weren't like, you
Mm-hmm.
didn't show me enough affection or enough love. You didn't show me that you wanted me. And it was like, what was wrong with me that I felt like I had to sit there and say, pick me, love me, you
How
know?
long? How long? How long ago was this relationship?
Uh, it's been over now for like 6 months,
Okay. And how long were you guys together?
2 years,
2 or 3?
two.
Two. Have you gotten into any counseling or therapy to
I
deal with? Oh,
no.
okay. Um, why not?
Um, because I've for a while I've been through a lot of things in my life, and one of the things that has helped me is my spirituality and my relationship with God. So I kind of feel like that's enough for me. But
God made counselors.
right. So I realized that God made counselors just like He made doctors, and I feel like I do need to tap into sitting down with someone who
Mm-hmm.
can help me understand more so why I think the way I think, because I've been through traumatic situations, and I feel like those traumatic situations that I've experienced kind of made me feel like I wasn't worthy of certain things. So for example, you speak a lot about like high value men, right? And I'm a woman, I'm 26, and I own two businesses. I'm a founder in one and then a co-founder in the other. So I mean, it's building up. It's brand new. It's a startup, and I'm not where I feel like I want to be yet. But let's just
As
say,
far as what?
as far as like income and like my lifestyle, things like that, I want more for
Mm.
myself.
What is
And
life about?
what is life about?
Mm-hmm.
Happiness, right? Love.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
What?
People.
Okay.
So I was going to let you talk, and you were going to tell me how you're so busy and this and that, and my business is not where it was, so I don't have time. Life is about people.
Mm.
Have you ever sat down with somebody 80 plus years old in like a retirement community or something like that? One thing they really never talk about is, I wish I made more money, or I wish I'd have worked harder. They talk about the things they regret, and it's usually about relationships.
Yeah, it's true.
So if you know you're self-described codependent and you're not going to counseling, you're just gonna what? Throw your codependency into business? Okay, then guess what'll happen? You'll wake up and you'll be smack dab in the danger zone, and you still won't be any better off for the next potential person that you run into.
Mm.
You're just see, like it or not, women have to get the major parts of their life together earlier. Do you want children?
I do.
Do you have any children?
I do not.
All right. Well, I'm not the creator, but before you need to have your children before age 35, before geriatric pregnancy attaches. And usually most OBGYNs will tell you you need to have your children, period, by age 42. That's
Mm.
crazy that we're even talking about that, but it's because so many women are postponing the things that make life worth living: people, family, community.
Mm. So I have a question for you.
Well,
Do you when do you think is the right time to move on or build with someone new? I know I need to work on myself more because I have as you mentioned, like, you know, therapy would be a good thing for me. But at what point do you think would be a good time? Because I'm going to be honest, like, I met someone and I would like to consider them a high value man. And I just feel like, I don't want to say I'm not worthy of it, but how can I?
See? Well, in the general benchmark is a third of the time you were with somebody is how long it takes to heal. That's a general benchmark. But there is no scientific formula for it except this. Once you can take accountability for what you were and you really become indifferent about that person. See, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. What you just said, what I said earlier, you're 26 and most young women, especially most young attractive women, move as if men will never run out. You do realize there's going to come a time very soon that men are going to stop really approaching you like they do.
Yeah, I do.
So if you run into a suitable man right now and you're the unsuitable or unfit one, you can't really sit back at 35 or 40 years old and say you didn't have an opportunity.
Mm.
So I asked what's life about, and it's not about all the stuff you're talking about. That's important, but is that what really makes life worth living?
No, it's not.
Right? How many do you have any siblings?
I do.
How many?
Total is 6 of us.
How many children does your mother have?
She has 5.
All from the same man?
No,
How many fathers?
3.
Did she marry any of them?
Yeah, she married one of them.
Was your father was the man she married?
No,
Is she still married?
no,
All right. So arguably you didn't have stable relationship model,
nope.
but you still did have family of sorts. Where are you at in the birth order?
I'm the 3rd.
Oh, you're like a middle child. Yeah, that starts to make sense. Yeah, therapy. I always recommend therapy because, see, when I was your age, I had something that most people didn't have. I had just got over chemotherapy and cancer.
Oh,
At 21 years old, when I was ready to take on the world, the universe had other plans, and I had to stop, sit down, have a tumor the size of my foot removed from my abdomen to get 8 months of chemotherapy, and realize that guess what? You can die. It makes you reevaluate. You're still living life like you got plenty of time. Like there's no reason, there's no real hurry. So if whatever guy you believed in, if he said, guess what? You're only going to live till 40 years old. Do you think he'd still be postponing therapy and relationships?
mm-mm.
Why?
Because I want to experience having my own family.
Because it's more important than the jobs and the businesses. I mean, that's stuff that you need to support that. But what's more important is that.
Right. And you know,
So,
oh, sorry.
so that's all I'm saying is don't most people fear therapy because they don't really want to. It's kind of like it's kind of like if you ever drove a broke down car. You know kind of how it pulls to the left, or you have to pump 3 times to do this. You know all the routines.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get somebody a new car, they got to learn a new routine. After therapy, you're going to have to learn a new routine. You spend 26 years of your life becoming the person you are. But the thing is, has it been an enjoyable 26 years? Do you like your life?
I would like to say that I like how far I've come, because as I mentioned, when I was 17, I went through a very traumatic situation too for 5 years. And I believe that that's what kind of like, I remember going through that situation and telling my dad, oh, I don't think a man will ever love me. I feel like, I don't know. Like, I think a lot of my, feeling like
Imagine so by comparison, you're better than you were, but do you like your life overall?
it depends on, I mean,
Would you want a daughter to have your life?
Yeah.
Traumas and all.
What is it?
Traumas and all.
No.
Okay. So what I'm saying is we get to choose our life. We don't get to choose what happens to us. We get to choose how we handle it. So at 26, you can do everything you talked about doing and get your head together to understand your issues, whatever they are, start working on them, spin the plate of businesses, and spin the plate of relationships. You don't get a chance to do them one at a time. You don't get to do them one at a time. Therapist just told me I'd make a good therapist. Yeah, I'm mad at I'm talking to you after this too, Miss Thing. Seriously, you know, I don't want to delve into what happened, but I don't want you to waste the next. You're 26. It's very critical that you decide what you want. Like if you want to be a wife, that's why I have. So it's not to make women pissed off. It's like the yellow light that says you either need to stop or speed up, but you can't just keep doing it. And at this point, when you're 80 years old, do you want to have a husband, children, grandchildren, maybe great-grand? I mean, what do you want?
I honestly, like, I'm a, like, I don't, and this is why I feel like I'm like so codependent, because I don't enjoy being single. Like, I'm not the person who.
That's not codependent. That's human.
Oh, okay, fine. So it's normal. Some people make it seem like, oh, that's weird. You don't like to be single. Like, being single is fun. For me,
no.
I don't think.
Are these single women?
Yeah.
Mm-mm. See, the problem is women your age are being told by women your age that let's just go out and have hot girl summer, when 50, 60 years ago, women your age, fun was being a wife and a mother and living and building in a community. Because all the stuff that your friends are calling fun now, yeah. I mean, you can have 1 or 2 good years of that, but it's time to graduate and move on to the next thing. I said this before, and your friends may not mean it, but single women keep women single. And if you know you want a family, children, and a husband, you can have that and the things you say you want, but you have to prioritize it, because if you don't focus on what it is you want downstream, that time will pass. I know plenty of women who really want to be wives and have children, but now their options are limited because were not given the information that they needed to do something about it. These kind of conversations weren't around even 3 years ago. So therapy, understand yourself, realize that we're all jacked up. You just got to find somebody whose crazy matches are crazy. Find somebody who you can work with, respect, build with, and move on down the path. And if your friends who said that you're codependent or whatever, they want something different, love them, move them on down the path. You can still be friends with them, but you need a different kind of group of friends that want a lifestyle to support you, because it will be very hard to be a woman who wants to be married with children with a bunch of friends who want to be hot girls. You're going to have to be in a community and a culture and a neighborhood that supports what you want. And see, you sound to me like you'd be happier over in a relationship with a man that meets your needs, ideals, have a family, an extended family, and all that other stuff, then all the other stuff you're talking about, the business and everything else, just goes on top of that. I'll say this and I'm going to wrap it up. Any decision made in fear, scarcity, or lack tends to be a wrong-headed decision. If it's always fear-based, if it's always scarcity or lack-based, you need to rethink that. That's why therapy is so good, because you have somebody to talk these things through, and they're not your friends. Your friends are meant to be friends. The therapists are meant to help you get on down the path. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye. Most first sessions are free, so don't wait. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah. Many therapists give an initial consultation for free. So don't let money be a reason why you don't seek a professional opinion.